Right, so in the end I decided to put the oneleaf NV400 Eagle on my 204 because I didn't want to waste the only rounds I had left in reloaded 15 on my 243, so, and I've got plenty for the 204, so I thought I'd get the scope dialed in tonight. This is also my nighttime foxing gun, so it makes it the ideal gun to put it on. So we're going to zero it now at 100 meters as target down there in the up against the hedge there, nice solid backstop. And then once we get it zeroed in, we're going to start doing the ballistic calculator settings, and then we'll take it out and do it foxing. So let's see how this goes. Okay, so this is our first one. Then I wound and dialed it down. As you can see, we were still high and right. I then brought it down, which brought it centrally inlined. I then bloody pulled that one, didn't I? And then we started off down here, and then I came up one click, and then I put those two in. So, you know, we're talking 2/3 of an inch. So yeah, very easy to zero, very happy with that. Right, so today we're going to set up the ballistic calculator. So we'll start at the very top and we'll work our way down to the bottom. So ballistic switch on or off, that means turn the ballistic calculator on or off. So obviously we want it on because we're setting it up. Ballistic group A. Now you can have multiple different ballistic groups on this scope, depending whether or not you're using it on different guns or different types of ammunition. So because I haven't set one up yet, I'm going to pick the first one, which is ballistic group A, and this is going to be for a Hornady 32 grain VMAX. So the ballistic coefficient going down now is 0.210. I got that information from the Hornady website. I think that's a bit ambitious, but we'll see when we start shooting it. The ballistic model is a G1 because it is a flat bottom bullet. It's not a boat tail, so that becomes G1. The bullet weight, as I said earlier, was 32 grains. The initial velocity, so this is the speed the projectile was leaving the gun. On my pod it was set up as 1137, which equates to 3,730 feet per second. The zero range, I'm actually zeroed at 100 meters, so I shall change my calculator from yards to metric. The sight height, inches, well, mine was 50 millimeters. Now, the sight height is the center of the scope from the center of your bore. So for me, that was exactly 50 millimeters. Shooting angle, 0 degrees. Wind speed, 0, because I'm down the hedge line, so there's no wind affecting it. And the wind angle, again, no wind affecting it, so leave that as 0. The altitude feet, that is your height above sea level where you are. Now, this you can get this off the internet in many places. We're currently where I live, I'm at 110 meters above sea level. The temperature today for me is 18 degrees, and currently at the moment the barometric pressure is 1010. You can get this again online, or it's better if you use something, if you had a Kestrel or something like that, because you'll get the real barometric pressure of where you are. Then we go down to relative humidity, and currently today for me at this time the relative humidity is 72. So anyway, moving on. Once you've set all that information up, what you want to do then is you want to go out and test this calculator. So what I will do is put a gong out at 400 yards, bearing in mind 400 meters, bearing in mind my zero is 100 meters. I will then shoot at the gong, and depending where the bullet lands on the gong, if it's anywhere other than center, then you'll need to true up your data. So there's two ways you can do this. You can either adjust the ballistic coefficient, or you can adjust the feet per second velocity. Now, usually for me, I do the feet per second velocity. So we zeroed the rifle at 100 meters. I put one out at 200 meters just to make sure the bullet's tracking where it is before I put it out at range. And even at 200 meters, which is only 100 meters difference, the bullet is striking 4 inches high. Now I can either adjust the BC or the velocity, so obviously if it's striking high, the ballistic calculator thinks the round's going much faster than I've said it is. So I think what I should try first of all is I'll drop 300 feet per second from the speed to dial out the curve. This doesn't affect the speed of the round, you're just dialing the curve to meet your impact point where your round's going. So I think that's what I'm going to do first. I shall say it's going 300 feet per second faster than it is, shoot another round and see if that brings me down on paper, and then I'll step it back out. Right, I've now told the ballistic data in here that the round is travelling about 300 feet per second faster than it actually is. So let's see what a difference that makes on the target. So instead of aiming at the bottom target, now I'm going to aim at the middle target, and hopefully we should be a lot closer than we were before. That was good. So I've just been up other end. I moved the target back to 260 meters. I made a speed increase, and then the first shot I fired dropped me about an inch below center. So obviously I've increased the speed too much, so now I need to decrease it a bit. But what I'm going to do first is, now I know I'm only an inch away from center, I've taken it back to 300 meters. So what I want to do is probably put one on target, maybe two on target. I don't care about left to right, we've got a bit of a wind going, but it's the drop I'm dialing out, not left and right. So yeah, let's get another one on paper before we make any changes, and we'll go from there. Right, let's go see what that gives us. So we're out tonight on a brand new permission. I've fitted the NV400 Eagle, and that's now been fitted on my 204 centerfire. I couldn't use the lamp because I wanted to use different mounts that came with this to get the scope lower, so I had to use normal quick release mounts, and then I had to use a different torch because I couldn't get the other one to fit, the one that comes with it. But we will be testing that one out at range anyway. But yeah, so that's the gun. We're all ready to go. We just got to wait for a fox to come in and see how we get on. Right, so we're at 376 meters, and this is the sort of clarity you can expect to get from the NV400 Eagle. I mean, that is absolutely stunning detail. I mean, it's 380 meters, so you know, it's nearly 400 yards, and that is absolutely spot on. Right. Woo! So I've literally been out about an hour or so walking around with the NV400 Eagle, and I got to the sheep field. There's a couple of lambs in here, and I thought I'd just have a quick peer over the gate. Sure enough, Charlie was walking down the field. I gave him a couple of shouts, wasn't interested, just carried on sniffing around, so I waited till he presented a nice side-on shot. It wasn't a long shot, 120 yards, something like that, and yeah, dropped him on the spot. So yeah, the Oneleaf NV400 Eagle. I'm really liking this bit of kit. Well, here she is, nice little vixen. She's been in the field chasing after the sheep and the lambs, and unfortunately on this farm they want them gone, so unfortunately she had to go. It's a shame because she's a lovely looking fox, really nice condition. But yeah, first outing on the centerfire with the NV400 Eagle, absolutely spot on.